Discovery Weekly.
Welcome to Discovery Weekly, a bonus show from the podcast Discovery Show that's all about everything else we discovered throughout the week. I'm Zach.
I'm Kirk.
And I'm Matt.
And actually, you know what? I want to throw in a quick kind of follow-up discovery from last week. Matt mentioned this thing that was a 12-hour looped or non-looped noise machine. And I have used that thing, and it is sweet. I have used it to go to sleep, and it's been fantastic. And it made me curious why that is. So I wanted to throw a little bonus discovery in here. It basically, I'll keep it short because I have another one that's cool. But what it does is it makes it so there's a solid level of sound, and so individual sounds don't wake you up. So if you live in a place that has a lot of like outside noise and everything, you set kind of a noise threshold while you're sleeping. And those your neighbors being loud or somebody driving by your house really loud, whatever, it doesn't wake you up because you kind of already have this baseline level. So you're not getting woken up from dead silence. And there's a lot of research saying that these things are really good for you and they help you sleep. So if you live in an area that it's really loud and it's hard to sleep, try this thing out. Matt's recommendation was a great one and I loved it. So I wanted to shout it out.
Hey, that's 1 for 1. 1 for 100, I think. Maybe. I said 1 for 1.
No, I love all your recommendations, but that one has been practically used a lot since then.
I was using it earlier tonight.
But no, I discovered something really cool that's coming out, and it is a Netflix 5-part docuseries hosted by former President Barack Obama called Our Great National Parks. And it looks like kind of like Planet Earth, but he goes to all the national parks across the globe. And so it looks really cool. Barack Obama has a awesome speaking voice, and it's going to be very relaxing to hear him talk about hippopotamus or something like that. And so
hippopotamus.
There's hippopotamus in the world, Matthew. They exist.
Is it the world's national parks or is it the U.S.? Okay.
No, I think it's the world's. No, we don't have any hippopotamuses.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think we have any hippos.
No, I mean, we don't. We don't. We've talked about South America's hippos, though, right? That Pablo Escobar got there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They had to go sterilize those hippos. They were going crazy.
Oh, my God.
So I'm going to have the trailer in the show notes. But yeah, there's a cool new Netflix series coming out. And I love Planet Earth. I find that very relaxing. I find it amazing, like how they recorded all this stuff. A lot of these things they thought was basically impossible to film. What you see in Planet Earth is kind of like once in a lifetime type footage. We'll probably never see these types of things again. So I don't know. I just like nature documentaries.
Yeah,
cool.
I liked Planet Earth a lot. And watching how they made it was crazy. And I liked how they documented that as well, because that was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
How much they had. I remember the one that blew my mind, it was like the video of the shark eating the dead whale.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And like the camera guy was literally like to get the shot right, he literally was standing on the dead whale. Like he got left on the floating dead whale to get the video.
Yeah, I was watching one the other night and they were trying to shoot video that looked like what it would see when an eagle was flying. And so they hooked a guy up to some paraglider and he was just hooked on the front of him and recording with his camera while a guy was flying him around in the mountains. And they sometimes they would just eat it on the snow and they're just well, back to work. Let's go.
Man.
But yeah, I just like nature documentaries. So I thought that was a cool one. Wanted to share it.
Now I am seeing a little bit of a trend going on though, with these nature documentaries, which is now they're starting to get a celebrity and kind of do that thing. Cause Will Smith just got done with one.
Did he?
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I think it's on Disney Plus or something. And then, the Zac Efron one, which I guess that was kind of a little bit
that's not really nature.
It's
yeah.
kind of a documentary.
It's different though.
But it wasn't nature only.
Yeah.
But it was about global warming essentially. But I liked that one.
Yeah, that was good.
But then there's the Barack Obama one, and there was a few other ones that I can't think of right offhand. But I've been noticing that there's kind of a new trend, you know what I mean, of a mix of the documentary genre, but with a celebrity host.
The only celebrity I need is Attenborough. because that man makes me
The
think.
beautiful blue-footed booby makes its way across the plains.
It's honestly dynamite
That was
impression.
great.
I got a pretty good Richard. Richard? David?
It's David. Yeah, I think that.
God.
Well, Richard's his
whichever one's
brother that's
not
in Jurassic Park, right?
The world famous actor. Yeah. Dino DNA.
Dinosaurs. I can just do the little DNA guy's voice. That's all I can do.
You're talking about from like the program where they're like doing the walkthrough.
Yeah. Well, I've found a discovery about this soldier that I want to tell you guys about. His name was Seryoza Aleshkov, and he was awarded the Medal for Combat Merit. He received a Browning as a trophy pistol from an Army general and was even promoted to the rank of junior lieutenant. All cool things. That's nice. Cool. What's so special about that? Oh, you know what's so special about it? He was freaking 6 years old when it happened. This kid was 6 years old. And here's his story. It's just a crazy story. And I'm going to just call him Sergey. How would you do that? How do you say that?
I'm just going to call him for sake of easiness. He has 14 different names.
How do you?
Sergey.
There we go. Yeah. In the summer of 1942, Sergey, from the village of Grin in the Kuluga region, found himself completely orphaned. His father had died before the war, and the Germans executed his mother and brother for their links to the partisanship right before the boy's eyes. Left all alone, the 6-year-old child was aimlessly wandering in the woods in a state of shock. When emaciated and hungry, he was discovered by a reconnaissance group of the 142nd Guards Rifle Regiment. And so this was the English, I believe, the English Army. And it says the boy was very eager to be of use. He delivered newspapers and letters to subunits and constantly ran to headquarters to ask for more instructions. One day, while doing his regular rounds, he discovered German fire support spotters hiding in a haystack. And he reported it, and they were quickly neutralized by, it's not the UK, it's, I think it's the Russians, by the Red Army. Red Army was the Russians.
That's the
correct?
Russians, yes.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
Well, because I didn't read that part.
Like Red Dawn.
Right now, until it said Red Army. So I'm like, yeah, that's not the UK.
I was guessing by the name, it probably wasn't the UK.
I know. Same here.
Well, who knows?
I'm stupid. It's okay. It's fine.
Hey.
But there's just it's a crazy story. There's some other pieces of the story that were even crazier. It says during artillery shelling, Sergey, his adopted father was buried under debris in a dugout. The boy tried to dig him out on his own, but he failed. So he ran to get some sappers to help. And he was saved because of the little boy getting help in time before he suffocated. And there's a quote here for when he was being awarded this stuff. It says, with his cheerfulness and love for his unit and those around him, he boosted morale and confidence in victory at extremely difficult moments. Comrade Aleshkin, which was his last name, is the favorite of the regiment, said the order conferring the award to Sergey when he turned 7. That's when he got the award.
Oh my God.
Now there is a crazy story, part of the story where, and it's really cute. Like you guys should look at the link where they've got pictures of him because he's just this little 6-year-old, in a suit. They made a suit as a joke, like a army suit, and he looks so cute. It's just a little boy in his like the dress up one, the one that looks really nice. It says once as a joke, the soldiers gave him a junior lieutenant's uniform, but it almost cost him his life because the shiny shoulder straps attracted the attention of German pilots who basically shot at him with machine guns, and he actually got shot in the heel. He got shot in the foot.
Why are they shooting babies?
I guess
mean, they might.
They're from a plane. They're like, everyone looks small from up here.
And to be fair, on their end, they could be like, "What's that baby doing?"
Let's shoot it.
Yeah.
they are Nazis, you know? So,
Yeah.
whatever.
Historically, they're bad guys.
And this is a sad part. Not really, because he didn't die. Like, he had a full life, but this is a little bit
I'm
sad.
not liking this this setup for this part of the story.
He was able to go to military school after he was not 7 anymore. No, when the war was over and everything, he actually went to military school. But it says he did not succeed in his military career. He was let down by his health. Now, this is the reason why, and I just think this is a little bit funny because he was always with soldiers since the age of 6. He was addicted to smoking from an early age.
Oh, God.
So he damaged his lungs so bad that he couldn't do anything like in the army as a grown up because he was smoking so many cigarettes with the guys.
Whenever I hear of an old story, a lot of times I'm waiting for that moment where I'm like, okay, well, there's the sad part of this story.
I mean, it's not. I mean, he lived till. I mean, he kind of lived till he's 54, so it's not super old, but it's a decent life, I guess.
Well,
I don't know.
That's a downer.
Sorry, he got a law degree to make you feel better.
No,
it was a heart attack, so at least it was quick.
God.
Does that make it better?
No. Started smoking when he was 6 in the army.
Well, man, that kind of blows my discovery of child soldiers out of the water. Jeez.
There was 2 child soldier discoveries in 1 week.
I don't think so.
I'm kidding. Damn it.
Like, how are your segues so good?
Yeah. Well, my segues are so good because of my discovery, which is about retail psychology. That wasn't a great segue, I'll be quite frank.
You said segue in it, though, so it counts.
Yeah, so my point was totally moot or lost in that the segue is how we buy things.
Guys,
and how
my
we
stupid is rubbing off on both of you guys.
Yeah, let's see what my final discovery is. Toilets. I don't know. But basically, I came across, I was really interested in, I love the idea of how department stores are set up and why they're set up in a certain way. You know, because I was just at Walmart. I had to shop there for a set, and I went in and dude, they were moving like entire aisles with these weird jacks that they have. They just like pick up the aisles and then move them.
That is
very
crazy.
weird. Very strange. So I was like, why are they doing this? Because I guess more and more stuff comes out. And I actually came across, I was like, why is that a thing? I came across a retail solutions business that has like a very brief like rundown of how people shop. And I just wanted to share some of these because they're pretty wild. There's a few obvious ones and you'll notice which ones. They say, number 1, everyone wants to know the rest of the story. Use window displays to capture attention and tease with just a taste of what's inside. Right? Makes sense. You see, and you're like, let's see what else they have.
Yeah, like Abercrombie and Fitch with their shirtless teenagers.
Yeah. And they're like, well, I like that. What's in there?
I always was too intimidated to go in there. I was never in shape to be able to compete. And I was like, I can't wear those clothes. I look stupid. I look like a sausage.
I went in there just so I could spray myself down with the stuff.
Their models' jaws were some of the strongest. They could probably cut diamonds on their jaws.
Yeah. And so really all it served to do was make me feel inferior and self-conscious.
Didn't you want to know the rest of the story?
Yep, I do.
No, you wanted to go in anyway.
No, I didn't. Right. I didn't want to know the rest of the story. I just went and cried and had a pretzel, which is kind of a self-defeating thing. It kind of it informed and was because of this.
Yeah, but the secret is that guy is standing there without a shirt on. He's cold and he just really wants a pretzel and he wishes he was you. That's what's really happening.
The thing is, don't let your dreams be dreams. Go get a pretzel.
Well, whenever I see those things, and I'm like, oh, that's wow. What a. There's like probably 50 PAs like holding up like all this stuff around him to like light him and stuff, and one person's like bringing in lunch and stuff during that shoot.
It is
So it's just
it
like
is
weird.
It is funny because I remember hearing a lot about, the guys or people that would like model at these stores. I think I saw it like once, but everyone talks about it. And I do remember it when I did see it. And it just made me feel really uncomfortable. I didn't want to look that direction because it felt weird.
And I did the opposite. I maintained really, really intense eye contact.
You wanted to best him.
I wanted to make him look away because then I won. And I was holding my pretzel already. So like I was already I'm sorry we've gotten so far off topic.
Yeah, we've ruined his discovery
I'm sorry, Matt.
Slowly eating pretzels while holding intense eye contact.
I didn't say that I was slowly eating them. I was, but I didn't say that.
Very quickly. I was scarfing them. Yeah.
No, but I do have one quick question for you, and then I promise you're right back at it, Matt. Do you feel like you've gained like some curiosity here because of what you've been doing a lot at work? Because like you're like positioning things to try to catch people's eye, and like you're literally part of like the advertising for a store like this.
Maybe. Not really, because all of basically anything that you see printed or on TV or whatever, every single decision that these people make is 1,000% arbitrary. They're like, we want to put more light on this thing in a scene so it's well lit so that people buy it. It's like, what? That's not a thing. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I was gonna buy that thing, but it's not lit very well.
I can barely see it, so
pass.
No.
It's just like oh, we don't want that white shelf up front. We want the gray one because it, I don't know. It's just like, what? And they think they have these really profound reasons of doing these things, and it's just like, nope, it's totally arbitrary. So that it gives me some confidence to be like, okay, nobody knows what they're doing, and everything is a great idea as long as you do it.
I mean, you know what? That is motivational right there.
Yeah, it is.
You should write a book.
I think I might. I'm going to call it
maybe a pamphlet?
Radical Honesty, but like, wow, radical.
Okay, I'm about that book. Is there still a naked day on day 5?
Oh, they're all naked days, my friend.
That's what makes it so radical.
All right. So back to it.
Sorry.
One of the things that Palmer Retail Solutions suggests is decluttering your entryway. I don't know if you've noticed this, but anytime you go into like a Target or a Walmart, it's usually like there's just a lot of space up front, and then then the aisles come, which is interesting. It says this gives the customers their chance to get their bearings and mentally transition from the outside world to your interior. I hate that they said this, to your interior vibe.
Oh, Jesus.
Ooh, I do love me a Walmart vibe. I step in, I'm like, I'm feeling that vibe.
So 3 is the perceived lack of personal space can send shoppers packing. And I'm talking to you, Trader Joe's. They call this the butt brush effect. So you never want
scientific term.
Yeah, you don't want butts brushing, but you also don't want to be brushing butts. Is what. So either way, so you don't want that. Good God, this is.
I love that somebody was probably paid to come up with that term. It was like, you know what? Nobody wants somebody touching their butt.
Yeah,
we need a term for that.
Hi, Mr. Target. We're Palmer Retail Solutions, and we're here to talk to you about touching butts. Nobody likes that.
I would sit in on that meeting, no hesitation. It's like I want to hear what you have to say.
I would argue that a lot of people like it, if not most people like it.
But do you like it when you're at Walmart?
I mean,
that's probably the place I like it the least, to be quite frank.
Probably
or the gym.
Yeah, don't go to the gym. Here's another one.
Me either. I've just heard. I read in a newspaper article.
This one's pretty great. This is actually kind of interesting. So studies show that 90% of Americans automatically turn right when entering a store. So anytime you go into a place, look to your right, and that's like the stuff that they want to sell the most, whatever's to the right. Just kind of interesting. Research shows that a typical customer sees only 40% of the merchandise that one displays. Basically, you go into a store, you know what you want for the most part.
That's a higher percentage than I thought, to be honest.
There's no chance
Because,
I've ever seen 40%. I mean,
like
maybe my
said.
eyes passed over it.
When I have a list, I know what I want. I'm not looking at everything.
I mean,
that's fascinating.
It's true. Newness, not nudeness. Newness attracts shoppers too. So anytime there's something new, they want that displayed, and they want it those displays rotated often, which is also interesting because they'll be like, oh, they have this thing. Like you'll notice when they turn stuff over pretty often. There we go.
Speaking of newness and displays and stuff, half of the reason that I know what upcoming holidays are coming up are because of Publix's displays.
Like, oh, it's that time of year again.
Oh, yeah, Valentine's Day's coming up.
Oh, pumpkin pies are out. Must be Thanksgiving. That's great. Thanks to the obvious visibility, Palmer's retail solution says end caps for your aisles have tremendous stopping power. I can't read this like it's a pitch because it's too funny. Customers crave convenience. Everyone's in a hurry. Create a floor plan that is convenient, but not so efficient that shoppers miss all you have to offer. And this is what I wondered a lot, because sometimes you're like, do they have, like, are people really coming in here all the time for this thing that's right in the way of everything else? No, they stumble upon it and they buy it.
No, I think honestly, there's some level of it that it's dumb, but they also make a ton of money off these decisions.
Oh, yeah.
So they have figured out how to keep you in there just the right amount of time so that you buy something extra that you didn't plan on or need, and then you didn't get bored and just like bail.
Yeah, the grocery store with the milk and the eggs and all the necessity, the staples being far away is like one of the main things that I think of as like psychology of what you're talking about, Matt.
Okay, I got a pitch for you guys. We take these principles and we go to the extreme.
Opposite? Or
no, the extreme.
Okay.
So none of it is...
You mean radical?
Nothing but radical butt brushing.
Yes, all butt
radical
brushing.
Butt brushing.
All butt brushing all day. And everything is constantly moving. Literally, when you get in the store, it could be at a different place by the time you leave the store. And so
sometimes
it's like a
rotating restaurants.
Yes, sometimes people leaving is just like, oh, thank God. Like,
it's like I've been stuck in here for 3 days.
Yeah.
Just
and then the last thing that they say, just to get it out, just
I'm
to
sorry,
get this over
so
with.
can finish.
There's so many funny like
I know
it's
great. Basically, it says when it comes to the journey of the customer, the cash wrap moment is where it really matters. So, like, both the checkout area, you know, whatever that looks like for whatever kind of store it is, but there needs to be enough space to accommodate everybody's things that they have bought or whatever. And basically that's where you want those final things. And they bring up this great thing where they say, first, customers already made the decision to spend money, so they are prime targets for last minute impulse items. Like, you go to the grocery store, you buy those dumb, National Enquirer dumb things that are in front of the thing.
They
all the
do
candy
have
and
those
stuff
right there. It's like candy and magazines.
And when they're priced right, you're like, well, why not? Which
the
is
thing that
wild.
I do not like is you go to like Ross or Michael's or whatever those other stores are that are similar to that, and they made it like a maze to get there of like just
just
like
a bunch of crap you can buy.
Nothing but those impulse buy stuff.
Yeah.
But there's like a switchback of them, and you're like, come on. It's like, this isn't a bank.
You say that as you're like filling your.
This.
It sounds like frustration. Are you just like filling up on all the candies and like cups and random things they have available for you?
Maybe.
It's It's been burned.
Well, that's the end of my thing. Anything else we want to get out?
No, I mean, I think we riffed way too much. I'm sorry for that, but
No,
it's
I don't
honestly
mind.
really funny. Like the entire premise of what they're talking about. And they said butt brushing in there.
Yeah, you can't not riff off.
Yeah,
butt
they had to
brushing.
know that
I mean, come on,
that's funny. Come on.
It's
Come on.
funny.
guys.
Come on.
Hey everyone, this is Toph, host of Gravity Beard, a podcast featuring interviews and discussions on a wide range of topics. In each episode, I'll either interview a special guest or we'll convene our typical Algonquin roundtable of brilliant minds. Occasionally, we'll even be joined by the host of one of your other favorite podcasts. Then every other week, my buddy Adam stops by for an installment of This Week Today. Whatever we do each week, we promise you'll be entertained. You can find Gravity Beard on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else quality podcasts are sold. And you can always find us and other indie pods in the Underdog Podcast community on Facebook. We're also a member of the Podfix Network. Come check us out. Gravity Beard. It's what your ears will want to be listening to.
So I discovered something interesting that is just something I never really thought about. There is kind of concern and there is planning on how to warn people like 10,000 years in the future what nuclear radiation is. Because, okay, imagine that you go to an alien planet and somebody has left something that you don't understand as a sign that's essentially saying this is radioactive. Don't go near it. You can't see anything. There's no way to distinguish it aside from with a Geiger counter, but it will kill you quickly. And so there is worry amongst like scientists on how to make sure that places like Chernobyl that are radioactive and will be for a very long time are constantly warned, even if like our society advances to the point where language isn't the same and things like they wanted to make it so that it's a foolproof method. And it has developed into a couple interesting things. They did a couple different things. They write stuff still, and they do the skull and crossbones. You know, they do a lot of like really abrasive warning. You know, they try and like visually tell you when you look at the sign, you're like, oh, well, I don't really know what it means, but I'm scared. And they try to do that on purpose. And they also have done like really strange things. Like they try to build buildings that look intimidating. So they literally, in the architecture themselves, they try to make that part of it.
Intimidating building looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what it looks like. But they basically have this whole list of things that kind of will try to like make people want to stay away from it just naturally. And there's also kind of an idea of something called an atomic priesthood, which is there would be a group of people who would carry this knowledge into the future.
So, this is the Book of Eli?
Yeah, pretty much. So this was in the 80s. And so they were basically trying to figure out how to pass this on. Okay, say nobody can pass on information from right now to 10,000 years from now. How do you let them know that this is dangerous? And somebody came up with the idea that you come up with an atomic priesthood. And so there would be literally people who are just keepers of this information of watch out for nuclear radiation in general. And it's just, I had never even this had never crossed my mind as to like, oh, we might need to warn people in the future. But also the idea of an atomic priesthood.
My God.
That's pretty badass. There's dope. A movie in there.
My brain is imagining like an old guy being like, hey, there's radioactivity over there. And then they're being like, oh, thanks.
What's radioactivity?
Yeah. What's your deal? It's like, well, I'm the atomic priesthood. My father was a priest of the atomic priesthood and his father was, oh, and what do you do for work? And he's like,
I just did it.
I'm in the atomic priest. Yeah.
I told you.
But here's the thing. I bet they get ignored.
Accepted. Yeah.
I bet they get ignored because, okay, if old religion, like the beginnings of religions where everybody was trying to apply kind of mysticism and story to things that they didn't understand scientifically.
There's invisible stuff that will melt your face.
Right. People are like,
right,
oh,
mister.
Yeah, I bet, buddy. and then they go and get their face melted right off. So it's like, it's not really going to help you in the end. No, I think that really the only way that we can make sure that 10,000 years in the future, somebody knows there's a problem is by us talking about it right here. Because you know that this recording is going to live on for at least 10,000 years, and that people are going to refer back to it for all of the vast knowledge that we have passed on to humanity, the contributions we've made to society
there's
in
a
general.
lot of people that just listen to our show for their news.
And I mean, I have 2 points. One,
they're extremely behind on everything.
I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the support. And 2, I'm really sorry that we're the only reference you have.
Wow, honey, did you know that there was a child soldier?
Have you heard of butt brushing? Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
Named Sergio or Sergey? Well, I don't remember what. I don't know. They couldn't say his name.
God. Yes. The Annals of Time sits PDS on top of a pedestal, an upside down pedestal.
But yeah, I just thought it was a wild thing that there could potentially be atomic priests somewhere, and we could be those priests.
Yeah, do you have to get ordained or something? Like
ordained?
I think you just have to be radioactive, really. I think you just have to like get a little
seminary. Oh man. So I think we can all agree that like borders for countries are just made up and kind of silly and stupid that people take them so seriously. Well, I have a guy that agrees with us. In 2001, this guy, his name is Travis McHenry. He was in the Navy. McHenry founded the micronation of Westarctica in 2004.
Micronations.
He appointed himself ruler of the Grand Duchy of Westarctica, which was located in the Mary Bird Land region of Antarctica. He has said that this took advantage of an apparent loophole in the Antarctic Treaty System. In 2006, after learning that McHenry had been communicating with foreign governments, asking them to recognize the nation, the Navy
always a sign that it's a very real thing is like, please recognize that I'm a real thing. Please, somebody.
The Navy required him to abdicate because he founded it when he was in the Navy, because the Navy went there. As of August.
Oh, hey, buddy, how'd you find this place? Oh, I don't know.
As of August 2018, Westarctica claims a population of 2,356 citizens. And I'm like, oh, wow, really? In parentheses, none of whom actually live there.
Okay, there it is. So it's like, people just want to be a part of this country.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a Facebook group.
It's like the people who learn Klingon. It's like kind of the same group.
Yeah.
And McHenry still calls himself its Grand Duke. In 2009, after McHenry left the military, he acquired a few acres of rural desert land in Southern California from his family. And there he founded Cal Sahara.
I like how he's just like, well, if I call it a different name, then it's not technically America.
McHenry later expanded it to cover 117 acres.
Oh.
In a 2015
desert, right?
profile. Yeah, it's in the desert. In 2015 profile in Los Angeles Magazine described the project as good-natured, but said it's hard to discern whether Cal Sahara is a serious endeavor or an absurdly long-term joke. Sometime before 2011, McHenry changed the name of Westarctica from Grand Duchy of Westarctica to Protectorate of Westarctica. In 2014, he made Westarctica a nonprofit organization that advocates for protection of Antarctic wildlife and for the study of climate change. That's fine. Cool.
Okay.
And this one's the goofiest thing to me. In 2017, McHenry's two micronations were linked when Cal Sahara was annexed by Westarctica.
Of course.
Becoming a colony of the Westarctica
This
territory.
guy is a troll. Like, that's all
hilarious.
He's trolling.
I love this.
I just thought it was hilarious that
Did
this
they
dude's
declare
like,
war on each other? Like, and just He's like started to write stories of the battles between these. I can't even say, what are the names? Westarctica?
Westarctica and Cal Sahara. So it's like California.
I like
desert,
how he's not
Cal
even
Sahara.
creative on it. Like even a little bit. He's like, well, I know two things that are desert, California, Sahara, done. Cal Sahara.
What I love even more than anything is that, granted, this is probably him in his Navy uniform, but I like to think that he made all of this up himself. There's a picture of him in full like military dress, and I want to imagine that he just made all of that as the Grand Duke of Westarctica.
I would guess that he did, because I think that the Navy might be like, you can't just like wear our stuff and say you're the Grand Duke of Westarctica.
Westarctica.
You guys,
I do love that like no nation has acknowledged that it exists.
Oh my God. The Wikipedia article, assumed office November 2nd, 2001, preceded by himself, King of Cal Sahara. He's both a king and a Grand Duke. It's like this guy really wanted to make up some special names for himself.
He just wanted to make it really easy to pick up chicks at a bar, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, I'm a king. Did you know that?
I'm a king, you know?
Would you like to see my
Here's my
lands?
king ID.
Would
that
you
I
like to
have.
see my lands? It's a lot of sand.
My king badge.
If you give a mouse a muffin, if you give McHenry some land,
A square foot of land.
yeah, he will create a nation. And if that McHenry starts a nation, he will start another one.
And then he'll go to war with the nations that he's founded, all against himself, but he will remain victorious.
I love how he colonized his own nation.
That is pretty great. He's like, and then
funny.
Then those colonialists came over here and took us over. It's like, who? Oh, it was mostly me. I mostly just wrote it in my Wikipedia article.
All right. So my final discovery tonight is, I don't know if everyone's familiar with my prior reading of a Johnny B. Yelp review. I read one of his reviews of Beef O'Brady's in Temple Terrace, I believe. And it was phenomenal. And I'm going to read his most recent review on Yelp. You can check it out. And I'm going to read it the only way I know how, and that's, well, you'll see. Anyway, this is a review of Pane e Vino Italian Restaurant, Deli, and Bakery in West Melbourne, Florida. This is a 5-star review. A fantasy of fresh. I'm now asking myself, how did you not know about this place? After 20 plus years of unknowingly driving past this place of sumptuous repast, I'm just humbled that I finally arrived at this bona fide little side of Italy. Door closing behind me, this portal transported me to a place of delicacy and bakery tastes directly off the piazza. A floor-to-ceiling feeling of venturing into a world of wonder, immersed in authenticity and aromas that delicately teased. I was set to roam free. Standing spellbound at this deli bakery eatery, I fumbled in my pockets looking for my passport. Had I found passage on a tramp steamer that landed me on the shores of the Tyrrhenian Sea? We shall see. Accompanied by my dear friend, our maestro of the Mangia was the likable Signor Darren. This man of Italy provided many insights into the possibilities to consider. Mouth-watering descriptions of the mingling of spices, vegetables, pastas and doughs, sauces and such. His guidance was the appetizer to our entrees. After all, a meal is the entire experience. Mentored to a high degree of seasoned neophyte curiosity, I set my sights on a whimsical choice. I chose chicken parmesan as my as
Get
my
a more basic freaking dish.
After that setup, to get chicken parm.
it could only be better to be like, I chose pizza. Anyway, back.
No, it could have been better if you'd be like, I got the chicken fingers.
I got a hamburger.
All right, we'll let you keep going. This is amazing.
That's hilarious.
I chose chicken parmesan as my across the ocean potion. To indulge in this dish was my logic. Humbly traditional fare elevated to a new plateau. I was not disappointed. As Darren slid the bubbling bevy of ooey gooey rhapsody in front of me, hints of happiness hit my senses. Freshness cannot be masked, cannot be duplicated with a bouquet of bottled bounce. Each twirl of the tines released the intended response of a talented chef. I was finding new ways to express myself in a universal language of Epicurean delight. My bonne amica, she ordered a complex culinary culmination as depicted by Darren. A spinach dough ravioli, etc., etc., etc. Her dish was as light, bright, and flavorful as the picture painted for her. I will say that I could sip and sup, waste the day away in this charming Space Coast trattoria, a place that brings one close to being there. End scene.
Clap, clap, clap.
That was amazing.
That was.
I feel like I was there.
What's so funny to me about they're all written like this, but my God, he was in like a crappy Italian deli. Like that's all he was like. He reviewed Beef O'Brady's like this, like, and it's not a bit.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
He just goes
wild.
for it.
It's pretty wild. So there you are.
Honestly,
speaking of going for it, go for it, listeners, because we're done.
Yeah.
Please just cut it here. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Just go for it, listeners, just in general.
The cluttered storefront of this podcast may have turned you away, as per Palmer Retail Solutions might suggest, but man, I'm stuck in Johnny B. But I will sip thy sup, and to thine listener, good day.
Good day.
Good day.
This was a podcast from the Podfix Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.